Hey guys, it's Lance at Mac Sound Solutions, and today I'm going to show you how to back up your entire family's iOS devices, the iPhones, the iPads, all that stuff, to an external drive as opposed to having it eat up all that precious Macintosh HD space. So I'm going to show you how to put it on an external SSD or spinning drive. I've been doing this for years myself. It's great. You back up your device. You can restore your device from the backups, of course, and that is the way to go as opposed to eating up all of your precious Macintosh HD storage. So let me show you how to do it. And if you prefer a written guide instead of watching a video over and over, I have created that as well. It's available on my Gumroad store and it's only $7. So it walks you through the whole process step by step in a nice organized PDF file. Links to the guide down below in the video description. So I just want to give you a quick rundown of what we're doing because it's really quite simple, and then we'll get into the step-by-step process. So we're going to copy our MobileSync folder, which is where our iOS backups are stored, to the external drive. Then we're going to create a symbolic link of the copied MobileSync folder that is now located on the external drive. Then we're essentially going to replace the original MobileSync folder with the symbolic link. And we'll delete the old MobileSync folder to free up all the space on your Macintosh HD. And once this is done, your current iOS backups and future iOS backups will be stored on the external drive. And if you don't know what a symbolic link is, don't worry about it. I show you how to create it. It's very simple. And a quick word from today's video sponsor, AOHi's 280 watt desktop charger. You can charge up to 6 devices. It's got 4 USB-C ports and 2 USB-A ports. It's got the display and mode button, and a regular power cable, no wall wart, which I really like. The display shows you all the different ports and what wattage is being used by each device. You've got 3 different charging modes: smart mode, custom mode, where you can dial in the wattage per port, and turbo mode for high-speed charging. And the app that you can download on the App Store enables you to monitor your devices while they're charging, plus the temperature of the unit, and you can even power down the charger from your phone. I really like that option. It features 240 watt single port charging and 280 watt total output. You can even charge 2 MacBook Pros at 140 watts each. So I'm currently charging my MacBook Air, my iPad Pro, my iPhone, and my DJI mics. So if you want to check out the charger, it's a great way to tidy up your desk and not have a bunch of wall warts. Link in the description. Now back to the video. So you can do this with any hard drive you might have lying around that has a good amount of space on it, or you can buy a new hard drive. I'll have some links down below. Most new drives are pre-formatted in exFAT, but we're going to want to reformat it in APFS because for iOS backups, it really has to be backed up on an APFS formatted drive, not exFAT. Step 1, format the drive in APFS. Now I have chapter markers down below, so you can just skip forward if you already have your drive set up properly. Okay, so we're going to format our drive. We're going to go to Disk Utility. I searched Disk Utility with Spotlight, but it's in your Applications folder, Utilities folder, and just open it up and go find your drive that you want to format to use for your iOS backups. We have the Apple internal SSD, and now we can see our external drive that we've attached to our computer. Right now, I'm using this just as an example for formatting. The names are going to change on my external drive during this demo, but don't worry about it. And while we have the drive selected, we're going to click Erase, and then we're going to give it a name. And one thing you need to know is once you give it a name, do not change it because that can break the path to your backup folder. And format, you want APFS, and scheme, you want GUID partition map. I gave it a name, Mate Mini 2T, and now we hit Erase, which will completely delete anything that's on the drive. And step 2 is just giving your iPhone or your iPad a name, if you haven't done this already, because it just helps later when you're backing up multiple devices to know whose is whose. And the next time you back up the device, the name will get updated, so it will be in the backups list with that name. And when you're looking at your backups in the Finder, you can hold your mouse over one of the device names and it will show you that it's an iPad Pro 13 or an iPhone 17 Pro, etc. And it has a unique model identifier. And if it's a phone, it'll have an IMEI number, and its phone number will also be visible. So that's another way to know which backup is which if you don't have them named. So we're going to go to Settings in our iPhone, and we're going to tap on General, and then we're going to tap on About, and then Name. You can see right now it's iPhone 17 Pro. So it's a generic name, so you can go in there and give it a name. And the next time you back up your iPhone, the name will get updated. Next step is we're going to make our user library folder visible in our user account folder. And if you know how to do this, or if it's already visible, again, you can just skip to the next chapter. We're going to go to our Macintosh HD. We're going to go to our user account. I only have one user on this. And we're going to open up our user account folder. And we need to be able to see our library folder inside our user account home folder, because this is where Apple hides the MobileSync folder. And Apple has this turned off by default. And now we're going to go up to the menu bar and go to View and let up on Show View Options. You can also hit Command J on the keyboard, but depending on what view you're in on your folder, the Show Library Folder checkbox moves around, meaning that when you have your folder open, you can go and change it to Icon View, List View, Column View, or Gallery View. And that little checkbox for Show Library Folder moves around. So depending on what view you're in, for some reason Apple moves it around. So in List View, it's down at the bottom of the View Options window. So regardless of the view you have your folder in, you want to turn on Show Library Folder. And I'm also going to give it a tag so it's easy to find. You just hit Control on your keyboard and click on the folder to select a tag if you want. And I just made it yellow. And also I like to have Calculate All Sizes turned on. This calculates all the data that's in each individual folder. Both of these help you know what you're looking at and how much data is stored in each folder. Step 4, we're going to copy the MobileSync folder that has all our iOS backups in it from the Macintosh HD to the external drive. And just a note, if you have a brand new Mac and you've never backed up your iPhone or your iPad to it, you're not going to have a MobileSync folder. It won't exist. It only shows up after you make your first backup. So if you got a new Mac and you've never made a backup, you can create a folder called MobileSync with a capital M, just like it is in the picture here, and then just follow the video picking up from step 5. And now we're continuing with step 4, copying our MobileSync folder to the external drive. Now that we've got our library visible, again, we're in our user account here. I'm going to go inside the library folder and I'm going to list by name. And we want to find our application support folder. I'm going to give it a color here with a tag. And then inside the application support folder, we open it up. We're going to list by name again, and we'll go down and find our MobileSync folder, it's called. There it is. And I made a little screw up making this video because I don't have a capital S on the word sync when I'm showing you this. It worked anyway, but the point is when Apple creates the first MobileSync folder, it looks like this, MobileSync with a capital M and a capital S, and that's the way you should keep it. So in the demo, it's lowercase s. It should be a capital, so just keep that in mind. In the long run, it didn't really matter. It still works for me, but let's just keep it the way Apple wants it. I already gave it a color so I could find it easily. Just use tags to do that. So there's our MobileSync folder, and you can see it's taking up 296 gigs of my internal Macintosh HD space. I'm just showing you inside the MobileSync folder is backup, it's called. Inside that are my iOS backups. I got 2 iPhones, my wife's and mine, and my iPad. So, and you can see 128 gigs, 41 gigs, 126 gigs. That eats up a lot of space. So we're going to copy the MobileSync folder to our external drive. All right, so I'm just going to drag this baby over to the external drive, and we're just copying our 300 gigs. And I'm going from NVMe to NVMe. So if you're going from your internal Macintosh HD to a spinning drive, which is what I recommend you use for this, it's going to take some time. So just be patient and let everything get copied. And before we go and delete the MobileSync folder on our internal drive, we're going to make sure that this is all working on the external drive. All right, we got about a minute left. We are copied. Okay, step 5, this is the big one. We're going to be creating a symbolic link using Apple's Terminal app. It's built into macOS. It's in the Utilities folder. So we're going to grab that. We're going to type in a very short command, very simple. Don't be afraid of Terminal. It's your friend. And we're going to create our symbolic link of the MobileSync folder. And to do that, we're going to open Terminal. Terminal is a utility located in your Applications Utilities folder. So we go into Utilities. You can also search with Spotlight for Terminal and open it that way. But I'm just showing you where it's located. It is an Apple app built into the system. And we're just going to type in a simple command here. LN spacebar dash S spacebar. All lowercase, and don't forget the spacebar after the S. That's very important. And now we're going to go grab our MobileSync folder that we copied onto the external drive, and we're going to place it into the terminal window. And you can see it's showing our path. Volumes, which is hard drive, Western Digital 2T, and MobileSync. Much easier to just drag the folder into the terminal window than to type this out. Then hit return on the keyboard. And you see what just happened? It just created the symbolic link in our user account folder that's located on the internal drive, and you can see the little arrow on it. So when I double click on it, it's going to open up the folder on the external drive. You can see the path below, which is another setting in Views that I like to have turned on in the Finder. Show path bar, which shows you the path to the folder you have currently open. And when we open up MobileSync, there are our backups on the external drive that we copied. So what we have to do is we want to take the symbolic link that we created, and we know this is now working, right? Because when we double click on it, it takes us to the new location of our MobileSync folder. So we're going to go back into our user library, and we're going to go back into application support. And for now, I'm going to just rename the old MobileSync folder. So we've got it copied on the external drive. We created our symbolic link, and I'm just going to call this one MobileSync Old. So we're not deleting all our backups just yet because we want to make sure everything is working before we go and do that. Step 6, we're going to move the symbolic link that we created, which is currently in our user folder, and we're going to move that to our user library application support folder. And now we're going to take our MobileSync symbolic link and move it into the application support folder. And there, we just moved it. So where did we place it? Macintosh HD, users, Mini 4 Pro, that's my user account name. Yours will be whatever you have. Library, application support. And then you can see there's our MobileSync symbolic link. And this now tells macOS to store our backups on the external drive instead of the internal. So that's it. You are basically done with the setup. And step 7, we now have to go in and delete our old MobileSync backup folder. I would recommend rebooting your Mac before you go and delete the old MobileSync folder so that macOS is no longer trying to use it. So we go back into our application support folder and we're going to go delete the original MobileSync folder that we renamed MobileSync Old that had all that data in it. So you hit Command Delete or just drag it into the trash can and then empty the trash to free up that space on our Macintosh HD. And you still might get some of these errors where it says the folder is still in use, but just hit continue and keep deleting it until the continues go away. And if you still have something stuck in your trash can at the end, just hold down the Option key on your keyboard and hit empty trash and it will wipe it out. So we just freed up all that storage on our internal SSD. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about encrypting and managing your iOS backups. We're going to plug in our iPhone, which I already have plugged in, and we're going to go to iPhone and we're going to go Manage Backups. And here are our backups. So I've got an iPad, I got my iPhone, and I've got my wife's iPhone. And you can see here, there are little locks by the two iPhones. That means they were encrypted during the backup process. And to do that, you click on Encrypt and you give it a password. And that way your backup is encrypted, it's protected, nobody can walk off with your data. So it's a good idea to encrypt your backups. And if you want to manage your backups, you click on Manage Backups. And if I wanted to, I could delete my iPad backup. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can Alt-click on a backup and you can let up on Archive. And there's the other one, Show in Finder. So right, where to take me? Took me to my external backup folder. So you can archive a backup, and what that does is it will keep it from being overwritten when you do your next backup of the same device. So of course that eats up a lot of space, but if for some reason you don't want to erase your old backup, you want to keep it intact and you want to back up a new version with the same device, you would archive this by Alt-clicking on it or Command-click and select Archive. So iOS backups are incremental. So if I back up my phone for the first time and a month later I back it up again, it's going to erase anything that's not on the phone with the old backup. It's going to remove old photos that I might have removed, and it's going to back up the phone in its current state incrementally. So it's not creating a brand new backup, it's just changing the backup and removing apps or photos or videos that I might have deleted off the phone. So if you want to archive a backup, if you have a state where you think your phone is in a sweet spot, it's a good idea to have a full backup and archive it. And then going forward, especially if you're doing anything experimental with your phone or you're trying out a new iOS, you might want to have two backups. Your archive backup where your phone was in a happy place, and then going forward, the regular backup process where it's incremental every time you do a backup. So you can back up your wife's iPhone, your kid's iPad, all of your different devices to one backup location. It's just when you plug in the device, you're going to have to know the password for the device or have the person use their Face ID so that it is allowed to do the backup. But the backups are not tied to a person's user account. They are just tied to the unique ID of the device. And I just use my phone's passcode as the password for my encrypted backup so I don't forget it. And one important note here is you do not want to change the name of your external drive or move the MobileSync folder somewhere else, because that will break the path and then macOS won't know where your mobile backups are located anymore. So you want to just keep the folder where it is and keep the hard drive the same name. But if your symbolic link gets broken for some reason, you can always create a new one just by repeating step 5 and step 6. And if you want to, you can always back up your MobileSync backups to a NAS or another APFS formatted drive, but you can only restore your backups from the MobileSync folder. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me that thumbs up. Check this video out over here, and I will see you on the next Mac Sound Solutions video.